Though no one in the trial of Frederick Thomas and Christopher Eyres argued that they did not assault and rape Isabella Ray, the two men were acquitted due to lack of evidence. This shows an interesting quirk of the 18th century legal system, in that the charge presented had to be proved, and any charges that were proved during the course of the trial, if not the charge against the defendant, were irrelevant to the trial. This and the prisoner's good character attested to at the end of the trial is the reason the prisoners were acquitted. First, we have witnesses who testify that the two men were assaulting the woman. Mary Delvin, who passed the incident, reports Ray saying, as she was being assaulted, "Have compassion upon a woman." She goes on to say that she would have gone to her assistance, but a man, who she was with, wished her not to, as she would be served the same. Mary Wilkinson, who was with Delvin and also witnessed the assault, shows how witness testimony could indirectly contribute to the defendant's character defense. When she confronts Eyres after he has assaulted Ray, she says, "I should never have thought it. If anyone had told me, I should never have believed such a thing of you." In this comment is the implication that the defendant has, or is perceived to have, a usually good character. This is again proved at the end of the trial, when it is learnt that the defendants support their families through their industry, thus making them men of good character and important to society, more important, it seems, than the victim. Mr. Russell, who had known one of the prisoners for 10 years and the other his entire life, and had employed them regularly, adds to this picture of good character, stating that, "They have worked regularly for me. One is my apprentice. They are very sober, hard-working, industrious lads." It is necessary, in order to justify the not guilty verdict, for the court to ascertain that the men they are dealing with are normally well-behaved and beneficial to society, and to prove this all is required is witness testimony. But it was not just their character that gained them their freedom. The opinions of the surgeons called to testify also have a part to play. And they are perhaps more important, as they demonstrate that, as long as the defendants can be exonerated in the narrowest terms possible, they are completely free, despite the fact that the proof relies on the admission of other crimes, in this case assault. The first surgeon, called John Horsfall, describes how she was bruised in a violent manner in various parts of the body, but also adds that he looks upon it that the treatment the woman received was the first cause, and the inclemency of the weather the second or finishing cause. Though she was attacked and she was heavily bruised, that is not the issue. More important for this trial is whether or not those bruises freely admitted to be inflicted by the defendants were the cause of her death. The second surgeon, called Edward Slater, goes one step further and dismisses the assault outright. "It appeared to me the woman died from the inclemency of the weather, and not from those bruises she had received." He also neglects to open the body, giving as his explanation that it was not worthwhile to enter into the minutiae further, that the victim died from the weather is the only concern of the surgeons, and the bruises are incidental. The third surgeon called Simmons this position, stating firmly that he did not see any marks of violence or wound that could have occasioned death once it has been adequately disproved that the bruises that the victim received did not cause her death. Though no attempt is made to deny that the bruises were the result of an assault, it is a short step to issue the not guilty verdict and set the prisoners free, making no steps to schedule a retrial for the assault charge. This shows the strictness of process that was typical for the late 18th century legal system. The charge brought had to be proved or no charge at all, and it had to be proved in well-defined and non-negotiable parameters. These two men were acquitted because they were thought to have usually good character and, more importantly, because their crimes could not be proved in the strictly defined parameters in which the trial operated.